It's stupidly hot today. It's amazing that I'm even filming. It is so flippin' hot today. Anyway, hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I'm coming at you with another cosplay story time because it's been way too long since I've done one of these. So we're gonna do another one. Today I'm gonna be telling you guys the story about how my friends and I got locked in to our hotel room. Not locked out of our hotel room, locked in to our hotel room while we were at a convention. So let's get into it. So this happened back in the summer of 2015. This was at Anime Evolution 2015. I think the last year that it was like a relatively big convention. It's pretty much an extinct con right now, RIP. And we were staying on campus. This was on the UBC campus, so they rent out like a whole bunch of different dorms. So they have kind of like the luxury ones. I don't know if those are like usually dorms or if they're meant as hotel rooms or if they're meant as condos, but they're kind of like the more like fancy high class ones, and then they have like the regular dorms. So we wanted to get the regular dorms, but they had sold out, so we were staying in like the fancy dorms. This was on the Saturday, and what you have to know about Anime Evolution was that it is probably the worst con experience that I've ever had that particular year. And that doesn't have anything to do with the con itself whatsoever. It was a whole bunch of just personal issues that arose during the weekend. There were a lot of like emotional breakdowns, there was a lot of just not great stuff, and it, like I said, had nothing to do with the con at all itself whatsoever. So essentially, that was a motorcycle. Essentially, Saturday morning, there was a lot of crying, there was a lot of just bad stuff. Basically, the point I'm trying to make is that that day had already been just like a lot, just like to begin with. So this was kind of towards the end of like my Attack on Titan phase. So while I had my actual cosplay lineup, I decided to bring my Krista cosplay as like a spare. So my friends are kind of trying to perk me up. You know, I've had like this major emotional kind of ride that morning. They were all fantastic. They were all so patient and so good during that weekend. And they were all like, okay, you know, how about you put on this cosplay since like your original cos plan fell through, just like put on your Krista cosplay, we'll go get lunch, you can, you know, have a chill day around the con. Basically, like, let's try and make a go of this. So I get into my Krista cosplay, we kind of bop around the con, and it was difficult to get past, you know, what had already happened during the day, but I'm trying my best to like be positive. So I'm hanging out with my friend Erin, who is absolutely fantastic. She's great. She was just basically like there as like emotional support and trying to make sure that I had a good day. Great friend, love you, Erin. So we're walking around, I'm dressed as Krista, and the thing is that like at that point I was really deep into Steven Universe. So I really wanted to be cosplaying Steven Universe. I wasn't really feeling Attack on Titan, and this day had already just kind of like gone to hell. We were just kind of at that point. So I had my Lapis cosplay with me that weekend, and I really wanted to be cosplaying Lapis, but obviously it took like 3 hours worth of body paint. It was already the early afternoon by that point, so I couldn't actually be like normal Lapis. But I turned to Erin, I'm like, hey, what if, since this day has already kind of gone to hell, I want to cosplay Steven Universe, what if I just did something stupid? Like, what if I went back to the hotel room and I just like did my Lapis face paint and I was just Shingeki no Lapis? What if I did that? And she was like, you know what? Yeah, why not, right? Because like with all the craziness that's already happened, you know, might as well do something stupid spur of the moment. So we go back to the hotel room, and another one of our friends actually also was at the hotel room at that time. So we're all kind of chilling out together. I like take off my Krista makeup and my Krista wig, I put on my Lapis wig and my Lapis makeup, and I'm Shingeki no Lapis, which to this day it's probably one of the stupidest cosplays that I've ever done. But you know, that's just kind of what happens when you're just like an emotional wreck and your day has gone to hell. You just kind of do something stupid. You know, whatever. So I have my makeup done. The three of us are chilling out in this room, and then we all eventually decide that, all right, we're ready to go back to the convention. So we go to exit, and the door does not open. The door is locked, like completely. We're trying to like jiggle the lock. We're thinking like maybe it just got stuck, but it is not, like we cannot get out. And so with all of the kind of like the emotional intensity of that day, I just kind of go into like complete panic mode. Like I don't know what to do. And I'm freaking out, and I'm like, we're locked in our hotel room. Because the other thing is that like, it's very common to get locked out of your hotel room, right? I'm sure that's happened to a lot of people. Anyone who stayed at a hotel, you've probably been locked out of your room before. And in that situation, you just go down to the front desk and you can ask for another key card, say that you got locked out, and then they give you a new key card, you go back, and then you open the door and everything's fine. Who's ever been locked in to a hotel room? Like that is just like such a curveball of a situation. I've never known anybody who that's happened to. Like, right? So that day, that whole weekend had already been kind of a mess There was a lot that had happened, and then this was just kind of like one more thing. So I'm panicking because like in my kind of like panicky state, I can't figure out how we're gonna get out of this, right? We can't open the door, we can't get a hold of our friends. We're trying to get a hold of like other friends who are staying in the room. We couldn't get a hold of any of them. So we're just like, what do we do? Now I know that a lot of you watching, you can probably think of like a few different ways that we could have gotten out of this, right? Which obviously, like looking back, when you're not in a panic mode, you're thinking, okay, that's not actually as bad of a situation as you might think. But like in the moment, it was a panic because like I'm locked in this hotel room with my friends. We're not sure how we're gonna get out. I'm in this dumbass cosplay. Like it was just a lot. I had had such a like rocky morning that day already. It was just like, of course this is happening. Of course this is happening. You know, and I'm like, out of any cosplay to be locked in a hotel room with, you know, it has to be my stupid spur of the moment Attack on Titan Lapis, cause like, you know, obviously. So the other two were like concerned but not as panicky as I was, and they're trying to calm me down. They're like, we'll figure out a way to get out of this, and I'm like, how are we gonna get out of this room? We're trapped in this room. So Erin, she concocts a plan. She's scouting things out. She's been in the Navy. Like, she's good in these situations. She's a smart, level-headed person. Unlike my anxious ass. So she figures out, like, we are on the ground floor, luckily. If we hadn't been on the ground floor, things would have been a lot more complicated. But we were on the ground floor, so we had a little patio area that was slightly elevated off the ground, and then it had a little, like, fence around it. So Erin decides that she's going to jump the fence, like, jump off of the patio, and then run around to the front desk, and then get them to free us from our room, basically. And then of course I'm concerned, since I'm like in full anxiety mode. I'm like, what if you get hurt jumping over the fence, jumping off of the patio? And she's like, I will be fine, I've done stupider things. And I'm like, eh. So she does this, she goes to the front desk, and I'm like waiting in a panic. Our other friend who's there is like, don't worry, she's gonna be fine. I'm like, what if she's not? Crazy what your mind does to you when you're in like panic mode. So eventually we hear our door unlock, and there's obviously like this dude who works at the hotel, and he like unlocks the door. They kind of like inspect the door, and basically like the lock had malfunctioned. It didn't have anything to do with like the key card reader. It was just like the actual lock mechanism had somehow malfunctioned and had locked us in our room, you know, which is fun. So we make it out of the room. We, you know, goof around for the rest of the con. Still didn't have a great day just because of everything that had happened, but we did not end up being hostages in our own hotel room. So, you know, that's the, you know, bright side of the story. Now, I actually told this story a few years later at a convention during a panel, and one of my friends who was listening raised her hand afterwards and asked, wasn't there like a phone in your hotel room that you could have phoned the front desk with? And I stopped. I was like, yeah, you know, that would have made a lot of sense. But I guess none of us thought of that. I guess when you're in panic mode, you know, your brain kind of puts you in a box, so you can't really think in like a rational way, but like that would have made a lot more sense. In fact, that kind of should have been maybe the first thing we thought of, but we didn't. That's why, you know, this video is gonna be beneficial. If any of you guys end up getting locked into your hotel rooms, just phone the front desk, because you can do that. That's the thing that exists. They really thought things through when they designed hotels and decided to put, you know, a phone that's like a direct line to the front desk. It was really smart on their part. I always told the story with like, oh man, like, wasn't that such a sticky, bad situation for us? Weren't we so lucky that we were on the, you know, first floor? Otherwise we wouldn't have been able to get out. And then, you know, my friend pointed this out, and I was like, yeah, you know, actually that wasn't that wasn't that dire of a situation. We were just not thinking things through. But anyway, that's the time that I got locked into a hotel room at a con with my friends, and my friend had to like jump the fence, jump off of our patio to get us out when we could have just phoned the front desk. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. You know, that's another life lesson. If it ever happens again, I'll know exactly what to do. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. So I guess that's like the second like crazy hotel story I've ever had. The first one was, you know, when I had to, you know, evacuate a hotel in the middle of the night with all my friends. And then there was also the time that I got locked into our hotel room with all my friends. Really good friendship bonding moments. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope that that never happens to any of you guys, but like I said, if it does, you'll know what to do. Anyway, thank you guys so much, as usual, for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you guys all next time. But until then, Panda Faces, please be sure to take care. Bye.